Hey guys, I'm Bara with Shy Battery Systems, and today I'm going to be showing you how to upgrade your OneWheel Plus to a CB Plus battery system upgrade. And first thing we're going to do is remove the foot pads. And to do that, you just need an 1/8 inch Allen key. I like to put the screws that came off the foot pad right along with the insert. I will go ahead and do the front foot pad as well. Now we can disconnect the foot pad by unscrewing this front collar and pulling that foot pad sensor off. Now we're going to want to remove the front bumper, and we do that by removing these 4 screws here. All right, now we can take our wire protector off as well. We're going to need to unplug this connection, and we do that by pulling that white tab back and then wiggling the connector left and right. You will have 1, 2, 3, 4 Phillips screws here that you're going to need to unscrew to remove. There's going to be a plate here that will need to be removed as well. And then you can wiggle your harness out, being very careful because that is a very fragile component. Now we can remove these 4 screws here. And our bumper should come off after that. We're going to want to remove these 2 screws. And now our housing should come right off. Sometimes it's easier to floor. All right, and now next we're going to want to take our 3/32 inch Allen key and remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bolts. And then afterwards you can take the Phillips and remove these 5. So let's do that. Okay, and then after we remove all the screws, we can remove the lid. And to get this battery out, we're going to want to remove all of this tape here and throw that to the side. We can pull the entire battery up. We're going to need to unplug this connector here and then unplug this connector here that goes to the wiring harness. Now this whole assembly, along with this divider and this foam can be put off to the side. We will not be using them. Okay, and then the only modification that's going to be needed for this mod is you're going to have to measure 12 millimeters. Let me do it this way. 12 millimeters from the left wall, which will look just like so. 12 millimeters, and we're going to mark that. All right, and then from the top, we're gonna do 17 millimeters. Doesn't have to be perfect, but as accurate as you can get. Now, right at that intersection, we're gonna wanna drill an 11mm hole. So the first thing we're gonna do is a small pilot hole to make sure that we're on track, and it looks like we are. And then we should be able to go right up to our 11mm diameter bit. Okay, so once you've drilled this hole out and you've cleaned off any burrs, if you'd like to make this a little bit more waterproof, what you can do is put a little bead of silicone on the outside, right in this area, right here. And you can pop this switch right in place, making sure that there is no gap between the switch and the wall. And then we're gonna take our top of the switch and screw that on, like so. And you want to do it hand tight, just to make sure that it does not fall off, but also that it's waterproof. And then this battery can sit right in place, like so, making sure that all of these wires here are along the edge. You don't want them under the battery. You want them all the way to the farthest corner. All right, now you may not have these wires going over the battery. Yours might come out right from the side. All right, so once you've got this guided right over this part of the battery, right in this area, if you do have these wires, all we're gonna do is plug this connector in and make sure that it's not gonna get pinched by the lid. We don't need to do anything with this connector. And once everything is nice and flush, we can put our lid back on, flip this over, and tighten it. Okay, now once you've installed that battery, you're gonna wanna take that housing and push it all the way in until all of the inserts line up as good as you can get them. It'll make your life a lot easier later. Now, we're gonna wanna insert that harness, being very careful. And we're gonna go ahead and plug that main connector back in and push that white tab in. At this point, when if you have those screws and those L pieces, you can reinsert them and to make sure the harness does not get damaged. Now we can take our they're very short screws, so they're gonna go right in the middle. Okay, now the next step is our rear bumper can be reinstalled. You do that by inserting those plastic tabs, and then now you can reinstall a float plate if you do have one. Okay, now we can move to the front of the board. We can take our wire protector or wire cover and make sure that is installed properly. Then we can take the front bumper and re-secure that. All right, now I can flip that over and we can take our front foot pad, and there's going to be a notch on the top of the connector. That is the up position. That should be in the up position. And you're gonna wanna insert that until it's fully in, and then you're gonna turn the front collar clockwise. Now we can attach Okay, now once you've got the front 2 screws installed, we can go ahead and pop these 2 screws right back in place.
And do the same on this side.
Now we can get to our rear foot pad. And the last step are the 2 screws on the top of the foot pad. All right. Now, if you have a fender at this point, I would go ahead and add that on, but for us, we're all set. You may notice now that the on-off switch does not work anymore. The new way to turn this board on and off is actually with the switch, which we installed right back here. So this is the new on-off switch. So it adds a little bit of security as well. And this board will still function with the app in terms of mileage and GPS and all that. The only option that will not work anymore is the range. So the percent will be totally off if not working at all. The new way to tell range is just like with our CBXR and XXR and Quart mods. So we have a chart available on the sales page images, and you'll use that voltage chart and compare that to the battery voltage, which can be found in the board settings in the OneWheel app, and that will give you your new estimated range. And we're all set.